Hey everyone, my name is Tegan, welcome back to this channel. I'm trying to make this a very quick but to the point introduction because I want to get on with shooting. This is the first self-portrait shoot I think I've done in 2021 and also definitely since my 20th birthday, so this is exciting for me. So the concept for this shoot, backstory, the uni project I'm doing right now is kind of about family photography and identity, and I might be tying in how photography is no longer original. That's a slightly different thing. But with all of this like family photography research, I keep coming back to family trees. And short version is I'm going to make myself into a tree. This is going to be kind of similar to how I did my bonfire inspired shoot. So I'm going to be taking a lot of photos of myself in different positions, which I think will be the part of the shoot that I film. I'm going to do it in a nude bodysuit so I can be as, I don't know the right words, I just want to be skin. And also the kind of shoot is more about form, body, figure. I don't want to distract that by like frilly dresses and stuff. I was also inspired by this Tumblr post, this very long post, and at the end there's a quote that says, "Are you or are you not all the previous incarnations of yourself?" And I think having this tree and this growth is a very good symbol of me being every single version of my past self. And also in a similar vein of that identity and being your past self, I want to go back to the experimentation with bodies and figures again, as I did back at the start of uni in my like Growing Pains entertainment series, because I've been having another identity crisis recently, mostly with lockdown. But the first project I did that I was proud of was Growing Pains, and that was inspired by me going to uni and having that whole identity crisis. I realised that a lot of my work is about identity. So we're gonna do another one. And what I want for this one is, again with the previous incarnations of yourself, 3 figures kind of all wrapped together. They will all be me. I'll change them. I was going to say make them different skin tones, but I mean this in like, I'm going to make one cool toned, one warm toned, one in the middle, to have 3 clear figures rather than changing my race, because that's a big no-no. So yeah, we're going to do that today. I'm quite excited. So this is pretty much the setup for all my shoots at home nowadays, but we've got the camera here. We're shooting out in this back room, because I do like the space, and I like that the light comes from above, so I can have some kind of replica of outdoor lighting. I'm going for the black backdrop today because this photographs as more of like this light grey colour than the true black, and I'm not sure what I want to do for the background yet. So this one is a more versatile, I can make this lighter or darker, but with the white I'm very limited to my shade range. So yeah, let's go. So this image isn't actually done. I've got to a point where I'm like satisfied with it, but I don't know how to make it good. But either way, I'm going to tell you about how I've done this image so far. So first step, my canvas size, I do a 12-inch square. I like 12-inch because I like to make big prints if I do get my work printed. I like square. It originally started off because of Instagram, obviously. So if you're looking at my feed, the entire image would actually fit and be visible. But then I was very inspired by square format cameras. And as I eventually started adding more like painterly effects to my images, having it be inspired by art rather than social media was very exciting. So after setting up my canvas, the first step to pretty much all my images is to start just working on the composite, which is putting all these images together to make a different base image that I will then add all the colour and lighting and texture to. So for this one it took a while. I think I took about 40 different photos of myself, and I had to use a lot of them. So as you can see in this first image, I was trying to work out how, like, what would the roots of this tree be. I was trying to work out like how big do I make it, how many people do I need for each part, and I got about halfway through and I was suddenly having many doubts that I didn't have enough images. It turns out I did in the end, but I think I could have done more. So the next step is to start adding more people to start building the trunk. Again, more people to keep building the trunk. And the next step, you can see I started realising that, oh yeah, this tree's going to be a lot bigger than I thought. So I had to, for this, instead of making the images smaller, I just made my canvas bigger. So this is probably about a 20 by 20 inch canvas at this point. I also zoomed in real close. I got a little eyedropper tool and selected a colour that was already existing in the background and made that the entire background colour, even though I knew I was going to change the background to something else. But this made sense to me at the time. Next step again is to just keep adding more people. Step after that is even more people. And I also added some grass, because I knew it's probably going to be on some grass, this tree. This is a stock image of a field that I use in a lot of my images. I say for consistency, really it's because it's the only good image I have, but I like that it doesn't keep my images consistent. So here's this tree. It's got a big fluffy brush so it can blend into the background, more as like a misty effect rather than like fading off into the distance. I'm trying to work on using like fake mist in my images, and I really like it. So next step, I added a background. This background was made on Artbreeder. If you don't know about Artbreeder, it's a website where you can kind of generate images out of other images that are generated from other images. And it seems to be this like big commentary on how art is no longer original, but you can still make new things out of pre-existing things. So when I was planning this project, I thought I was getting to a point where I wanted to start talking about originality in art and how no ideas are original anymore, as I want that to be a topic for my dissertation. So I went onto Artbreeder and I whipped up this background made out of a lot of other photos that were also made of a lot of other photos. So I put that into here, apart from you wouldn't know that if I didn't tell you. So the step after that is where I kind of started working on colours. I added in a tree so I could have some leaves. I added in some roots, so I did want there to be some actual tree elements in this rather than just trying to make my body into the tree. I wanted this to be one, you know. What did I do here? I think I added a curve layer to darken the highlights and also lighten the shadows, so it kind of has a bit of a desaturating effect as well as kind of decreasing the contrast between the tones. I think that's what I did for this layer. Next step is where I add my vignette. This is also done as a curve layer. Did I start glowing then? No. But yeah, this is a curve layer to darken the shadows around the edge of the image. I also think, what else did I do? I think I added another curve layer just on my bodies to increase the contrast a little bit and bring some tone back. So I wanted to have more of like, not exactly a full bark texture on my body, but I wanted there to be a lot more dimension there. This step again is increasing the vignette and increasing the brightness in the centre of the image to really draw your attention to it. Looking at it now, that makes it look too much like people rather than tree. So yeah, as I said at the start, this image isn't done. I'm trying to work out how to make it good. But I want to talk about it because this shoot was very exciting to me and it's different to what I usually do. And the final step of where this image got to is I opened the image on the Photoshop Express app on my iPad, which I talked about in videos before, but this app, it is a Photoshop app and it is very good for colour editing, especially if, like me, you do not have a colour calibrated monitor. So for this, I don't like working with green images, so I made the greens a little more yellow with the HSL slider. I also increased the vignette again, as even though on my laptop it looks very dark, on a different screen it has nowhere near that emphasis. I think I went into the oranges in the HSL slider, which usually comes up as my skin tone, and I desaturated it just a little because I think I was looking a little orange. and I might have gone in with the pre-existing yellows and desaturated those as well, so my hair would be less yellow. So that is the editing process for how this image went so far. I am going to continue working on it. I was going to say off camera, but I mean just in my own time, as I don't think this will be used for this uni project anymore. And I want to come back to making these big, very heavily edited with a lot of individual components. I want to come back to these type of images soon, probably over the summer when I have a lot of time. But yeah, that was the editing process for this image, and that was also the behind the scenes of the shoot. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching if you got to this point, and I will see you next time. Bye!